I tell you what, I must be a real good looking dude, because got up early, had a spot all picked out, had a tree prepped that I prepped last week, got all the way down there about 20 yards from the tree that I'm going to hunt, and some guys down there whistling at me. And geez, man, we're trying to hunt here. You don't got to be sexually harassing me in the woods like this. So I turned around and got out of there because I didn't want to get raped. So I set up in a different spot that I'd never been to. Saw 3, 4 does and a little buck. I sat until 11 and I thought that was getting down early because for the time of year, it's the 28th today. Like it's a good time to be hunting. I just really didn't like the spot that I was in. And I really wanted to be in the spot that I went to tried to go to. So I'm walking down the trail and I notice a really big set of tracks, and I check the onyx. I'm like, son of a bitch, this is the deer trail that leads right down into where I was going to be hunting. Like, well, hopefully that guy at least got something or saw something. I get out to the truck here and I'm the only truck here. Everybody else left. Bunch of pussies. It ain't even that cold. It's like 34 degrees and there's wind, but it ain't terrible. I only shivered a little bit. So, yeah, and I was texting another buddy of mine that I just met here last weekend, and he was running into all kinds of issues with guys all over him to sport it also. Yep, public land. Boy, it's blinding. It is October 28th. I'm just coming in after the PM hunt. Man, that flash is wicked. If you look closely, you might see some snowflakes. Getting the first snow of the year. I don't know if you can call it a snow, but getting the first flakes of the year. Man, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting a little bit discouraged here. I didn't see nothing tonight. I sat at a spot that I called it ahead of time before I went out. I told Kenny, I said, I ain't gonna see shit there tonight. But it's a spot that kind of had potential, even though I just didn't think it was gonna be good. Holy shit, that scared me. I can't see nothing because of this flash. I damn near walked into that tree branch. Alright, that's enough of this. Hunting's not going good. Chippewa's getting mad at me because I told her I ain't coming up until I get a deer here, or I get some big bucks on trail cam over by her, and neither one is happening, so I might be looking for a different town come next weekend. May not be Chippewa no more. Alright, so it's Sunday morning. I just got down out of the tree and didn't see much. Messed up on that doe, got busted. It was a big old doe too. So that kind of sucks, but at least it wasn't a big buck. I'm gonna go scout my way out. I'm gonna take the long way out of the woods here and scout some stuff that I'm not sure if I've ever walked through it. I've walked near it, but do a little bit of scouting here and maybe find a spot for this afternoon if it looks good. Snowing. Pretty cool. First snow of the year. Them brown bastards will stick out a little better now. Last day to hunt, so let's go do this. earlier this week I made a new friend that we've been keeping in touch, and he's parked in the parking lot here where I'm hunting, so I left him a little present on his tailgate. It was funny because I just got done doing it and then he sent me a Snapchat. All right, so let's get caught up on the weekend. So yesterday I went out with the intention of just hunting in the morning, but I saw deer pretty much consistently through the day, so up until about 1 o'clock, so I decided to just sit there all day. So I sat from sunup to sundown yesterday, saw a bunch of little bucks, and then I was going to hunt somewhere different this morning, but I thought about it and I was like, you know what, I saw a lot of deer there yesterday, a lot of does. There's a good chance that maybe a big buck will show up. So I sat there this morning, which was a joke. My wind was just, it was like a clock. It was just every minute it would blow a different direction. Blow this way, then blow this way, then blow this way, and then blow this way. And it was just a constant circle around me the whole time. I saw a lot of tails this morning is what I saw. Every time a deer would be getting within eyesight, it would pick up my wind, and that was the end of that. So I had one little buck come by underneath the stand, and even he ended up hitting my ground scent from where I walked in, and he stood there forever and then eventually went on his way. And then I saw a doe after that that was out of range. I didn't even bother filming her. So I am going in super deep right now. The wind has picked up, so hopefully it stays more consistent. I'm going in like over 1.5 miles. It might even be close to 2 miles here. I'll have to check. And I'm gonna just hunt off the ground. I picked up one of them ghost blinds because I know a couple guys that got them, and they like swear by them. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick one of them up and give it a shot. So I'm taking that out. I'm gonna set that up for the first time, and I'm going in super deep. So I don't even want to shoot one back there, to be honest, but I'm definitely not shooting a doe, I'll tell you that. So we will see. I have a feeling that this is kind of a waste of time, but the only one way to find out, so we're gonna find out. There are some big tracks in that scrape, getting pretty close to where I'm gonna hunt. I almost want to set up on these scrapes. There's a whole mess of them. There were like 4 of them back over there. There's a whole rub line running through here. They're all kind of small rubs though. They're not real high up the trees. There's another scrape right there. I've been getting a lot of pictures of small bucks, but that's definitely a big track. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully it looks reasonably fresh too. So the big one could be in here right now. Already had our first deer. So while I was getting the blind set up, I walked that way a little bit to break some branches off to clear I jumped 2 doors that were bedded right in this point right here, which kind of sucks. But then I was sitting here, and after just got done skinning. While I was sitting here, I looked over and I saw the back of a deer coming up over the rise here, and it was a little basket 8-point, and I could have killed him if I was not going to film it, but I wasn't going to kill that deer anyhow. But if it was a big one, and I decided to just roll with it and not film, I would have got it done. But he hit both past the last panel of the blind and also my downwind at the exact same time, and he did not hesitate. He got the fuck out. So hopefully that doesn't happen with a big one, but there's bucks back here, that's for sure. So in this week's video, it ends November 2nd, and I had mentioned that I had made friends with a guy in a parking lot. The guy's name was Cody, and after I had left, he shot a pretty nice buck during the week. So I'll include pictures of that buck right now. So right now, there's going to be pictures of his buck. For the story I guess we'll tell this week is back in high school, we were doing some hunting and we were filming back then. I was just thinking of a different story that I'll tell you that one quick too. So we were hunting the same piece of land that this story takes place in, and we were just fucking around. And we had this decoy out. It was one of those cardboard, like that plastic cardboard material, like what the ghost blind is made out of. And it was this fold out doe, and had it set up. And we're filming, and we're just fucking around. So I'm narrating. I bet you Chad probably still has the video. And I'm filming it, and I kind of pan over and go, and here comes a wild Chad, and Chad comes galloping out through this hayfield, and he comes up behind the decoy. He starts fucking it, dry humping this decoy. But anyhow, but on the same piece of property, probably a week later or whatever, because I don't think Chad had gotten stabbed yet. So we were out there hunting, and we had seen a couple of good bucks out in this field, and we wanted to film it. Granted, you gotta remember, we were kids back then. We didn't know dick about hunting. We were just learning as we went. And so it was me, Henry, Walter, and we brought Chad and Jeff along, and they were going to film. So we were walking in a single file line down this field edge to a tree line where we were expecting to put a stalk on these bucks that were going to be coming out into this field. They were coming. It was early season. They were coming out pretty regularly. So we're walking in a single file line. Henry was in front, then it was Walter, then it was me, and Chad behind me, and then Jeff. So Henry stops, Walter stops, I stop, and me and Walter had arrows knocked. I don't remember about Henry, but I was, my arrow was in my bow and it was pointed down behind me like this. And so I stopped and Chad wasn't paying attention and he kept walking and he walks right into this thing. I'll never forget. He was wearing black Dickie jeans and that arrow went right through his pants into his calf. So he rolled up his pant leg and this Steel Force broadhead, it's a single blade broadhead with bleeder blades on it. They're good broadheads. I shot a message here with those broadheads. But was sticking in his calf, pretty much completely inside his calf with just one of the bleeder blades just barely sticking out the side. Whole broadhead is buried inside his calf. So we roll up his pant leg and I wiggle it just a little bit. And I'll never forget his calf just went and just opened up. And at that point I was able to kind of pop the broadhead out because it was opened up so bad. And he wasn't spraying blood, but it was like running out of him. So me and Henry carried Chad back to the truck. We throw him in the truck. The 5 of us pile in this regular cab pickup truck with Chad in the bed and drive him back to his parents' house, drop him off, and leave. His parents ended up taking him to the hospital, obviously. He got 17 stitches to close the thing up. So now every time I run into Chad somewhere at a party or whatever, I don't see him too often these days. But he always comes up to me and goes, "You're not going to stab me again, are you?" So, yep, it was dumb. It was unsafe. So don't walk around with an arrow knocked is my advice to anybody out there. And the reason that I'm telling this story is a couple weeks ago I was hunting and I took a video of a guy that was, he thought he was just stalking his way through the woods, but he walked right by me at 15 yards and never saw me. And he had an arrow knocked and he was like ready to rock and roll the whole time. It was pretty funny. So anyhow, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving anybody that's watching this during their family Thanksgiving. And if you're going out gun hunting for the second weekend, good luck hunting, guys. See ya.